Welcome back to Tropical Fruit Trees on Lanai Island. We're going to give a little update and I'll show you how the progress is on our trees. Here's our lychee that's really coming up nicely. It'll be a few years before it fruits. And here's the loquat. We just started this in seed a year and a half ago. It's really coming up well. Here we have a couple more loquats that are again of a medium-sized variety. I'm expecting fruit this next year. I'll probably hit them with a little bit of fertilizer come March to try to start that up. Here's our white longan. This was from Frankie's, and it seems to be settled into a good height. So if we can fertilize a little bit in March and get it to spark some flowers and fruit, we'll be all set. We brought you under the canopy of the jackfruit tree, and you can see the fruits are really coming up well. We've already harvested around 6 fruits. They'll get about double the size of the fruits we see on here now, and it's a nice orange bubblegum flavor. Here's our white mangosteen, which really likes it right here. It's in full sun, which is surprising and still doing well. Then we've got a few papayas going that they're a little slower to fruit at this elevation. But then my wife's one of her favorites is the finger lime. So it's a long fruit that you break open and it has little champagne bubbles of lime flavor. They use it on the Four Seasons for some of their desserts and drinks. Here's the apiu. We're excited about this one. It's really grown quickly also. And then we'll show you a little bit the flowers that come out of the trunk of the tree. And that's where the fruit attaches. And it's just doing really well this year. And we cut back the cherry a bit, and that will, Suriname cherries will really pop up. This is a Clementine orange, which has got a little ways to go. And then our lemon was attacked by beetles. So we're just now looking to bring that back, but it seems to be taking hold all right. A newer seedling we've got is a soursop, which is a big fruit. Looks a little bit like the jackfruit, has a little bit of a sour taste, but it's really enjoyable and nice in drinks and smoothies. Here's our Mapalehu mango. And we've got it in the full sun in hopes that this will actually fruit here. So a little bit higher elevation up here at 1700 feet, but we're hoping that this comes around. It's really looking healthy. The deer had eaten it back one time about 6 months ago, but it's come back and recovered nicely. We have a little atamoya started, which is one of our favorite fruits, but it's just been kind of a slow start for us. Here's another of the loquat. It's really doing quite well. It's probably time to thin it out a bit, cut some tops off. One of my favorite fruits I haven't had in a while is the balata. It's about little bit like a large marble, has one seed, and just a really nice, flavorful fruit. The tree gets rather large, so we've been trimming the top, trying to get it to expand out. Our fig tree, we did a big cut on this, taking some of the top pieces off and strangling. It really has come back nicely with a little bit of watering and care. Another favorite of ours, the African mangosteen. This was from my friend John in Maui, the seeds. It's coming together pretty well. We've got a pair of them. And then my wife's idea was to plant some yellow and red nasturtium. It attracts the bees. It keeps some of the pests a little bit more into the flowers rather than into our fruit trees, which has worked well. And here's another one of the African mangosteen that's doing it even a little bit stronger, been well fertilized and such, and it's got that nasturtium around. One that's like the grapefruit is the pomelo. So we keep cutting the tops of this, hoping to it expand out, and then we'll get easier to pick fruits. Our orange tree this year has really come together. We sprayed it with some um, coat there, just using a little fish emulsion that was heavily diluted, but just spraying that and feeding the leaves has helped it really strengthen up. And you'll see there's a couple of oranges on there that should be ready by this winter. One of our favorites that's already given us a lot of fruit, although I've eaten it all, and we keep it covered from the birds. And this is a Lolita cherry, a black cherry, and it has just beautiful little tasty fruit. And this was also planted from seed. This is a yellow longan. but it's one that was from Maui originally, and it has a very small fruit, but it's translucent. It's just delicious. And then here's our Brazilian cherry, which is looking pretty healthy, also known as the gramacha. And then something we're doing to improve the soil is we plant some daikon down here at the bottom, and that helps break up the soil, bring out the nitrogen that's accessible. There's also some comfrey that we have over here, which is a great nitrogen restorer, and breaks up the soil a little bit also. Here we've got some drip lines going. There's a little update with that, with a few flowers that we'll put in. This is the blue ginger, which we're going to put a few more to the front, and then a couple other orchids and such for color. Then we get into some mint, some soursop. The blackberries are coming along pretty well. Many of these we'll just post it on the Lanai advertiser, and then we'll go ahead and put that in the classifieds if people would like seedlings. So we give these out to the community. We just had started some more African imbe, some atamoya. I'd gone to the Hawaii Fruit Growers Conference on Maui, which was a delight, and they're all sharing seeds. And we got a big durian seed that's already sprouted. So I'm excited for that. We've got an avocado that's overdue to get transplanted, a crown flower, which really the butterflies love. We've got a langsat and a pulisan that we're have covered because we can keep that covered and let that grow up a little bit larger before it gets full sun. And here's our dragon fruit, and it's a nice to combine some of the yellow dragon fruit and pink ones that are smaller vines with the red ones we kind of prefer. We don't have white at this time, but we just harvested them yesterday. They were beautiful pushing out. They'll push out a great big flower for us too. Now I'd like to show you a little bit more in our garden or some of our asparagus. And from my Midwestern upbringing, we've got some asparagus. This needs to grow a couple of years, and then you cut it back, and then those new sprouts that come up will be what we can have delectable vegetables. The avocado's doing quite well with this. On this side, we do have a few more bananas and a red banana that we put in to try to get a little variety in that. And then here's our line of pineapples, which if we've been harvesting a few a year, we really would need a bigger amount to get them regularly. And then behind us here is our acha-cha, which is really liking that placement and doing well. It's got a few years before that gets up and fruits. This is the star fruit, which I just trimmed back the top a little bit to try to keep it at a lower height so it's easy picking. That has flowered once or twice, and we hope to get this to really fruit up nicely for us this next season. There's mixed in here is a lemon drop mangosteen, and then we've got a nice another Suriname cherry set right there. Here's a topside view of some of our trees. Thanks for joining us again on Lanai. We hope to see you again soon. Aloha.